Today in this video I want to talk about alien abductions, but I want to talk about exactly what are the mechanics of how it happens, and if you are a victim of it, what you can do to stop it happening again and heal the effects of it. So basically, alien abductions, most of them are done by a race of aliens called the Zetas. They're known as like the Greys. They're the ones that's behind all the governments, the one that's influencing all those with all their agendas. But basically what I want to talk about in this video is how they actually abduct people and what physically happens to your body, what happens to your mental body, where it goes, how it gets back, and then what I think we can do to actually help. So when a person's abducted, first of all, these Zetas use a technology which is it's called colontics, and it's a form of science what all the advanced races know. It's not good or bad, it's just like anything else, it just depends on how you use it. So they've got knowledge of how to create holographic inserts. And what these holographic inserts are, they're not just like hologram that you'd imagine in our technology where they use the device and it projects a holographic thing. They actually create a reality. So it could be like a bubble of reality of a certain size, and inside that is actually a hologram they create, and they do it by inserting it into our DNA. And it's all to do with our DNA and actually manipulating that to create this holographic insert. So if you're a person what's been abducted, what actually happens is at the moment of abduction, they actually separate your mind and your body. So they insert a holographic insert of whatever it may be. So let's say it looks like a spaceship coming down, whatever, and then they separate, using this colontic science, they separate your mind from your body. So what they do with your mind is they actually speed up the frequency, and this actually takes it into a higher dimension where it's initially, in so many words, it's paused, so it just stops as if it's on pause. Then what they do with the physical body, they decelerate the frequency, and this takes it down to a lower dimension, because don't forget, like I said, this Zeta can use the technology to transverse dimensions, and they've got control of that. So they put the physical body into a lower frequency, they do whatever they're going to do to it, change the DNA, maybe take out information, inserts, technology, whatever it may be, they do that in this state. And then they actually speed it back up the frequency of the physical and slow down the frequency of the mind, and then once that happens, then frequency matches, then they come back together. So your mind and your body come back together, and that time when that happens in our reality, that's the sort of blanked out time what abductees experience. Now they experience no knowledge of what's gone off, because the experience is actually in the DNA of the body, not in the mind, which was separated. And what happens over time is, as the integration between the mind and body come back together, the DNA, the memory what's in the DNA from the abduction and the physical things what's happened to them, actually comes back into the consciousness, and that's when people start to remember. And generally speaking, it's a certain amount of time passes before this happens, and then they start to remember what's gone off. But because of the holographic insert what was put onto the mind, they can't work out what was real, what was not real, what's holographic, what happened to me. So that's where all the confusion is. Your average psychologist, hypnotherapist has no idea of this colontic science and how it works, so they can't actually do anything to really help you. Now I've come to my own conclusion, I think, of the things I've learned over the past few months, how we can help if you are a person who's been abducted or know somebody. I think because time doesn't exist, as we know, and I've proved this with this manifesting from things in the past and affecting me present, so for me that's proved to me that that's correct. So if you realise that you've been abducted, and then you actually go back in time and change that physical DNA, so anything they put into you, anything they altered into you, these Zeta aliens, you get rid of that, you create the memory that never happened. And if you do this, I think, in an altered state, so in other words, when you're meditating, or maybe you're deeply hypnotized, personally myself, I'm going to go, if it was me, I would go down the meditation route, get to a level where you're connecting, you're out of your body and you're in these realms of no time, create that different reality where it didn't happen, you didn't have these DNA implants, and then as you come back out of your meditation and your consciousness starts to meld, just as the aliens use this technology against you, you can use the same technology, as you want to call it, if that's the word you want, quantum science, use that to actually fix the problem. And once you become aware of how they do all this, you then empower yourself not to get abducted again, because once you know about the science, what they use, and the holographic inserts, what they use, you can actually just consciously just not agree to it, just put it out to the universe. You do not consent to this, and you know how it works. And I think personally myself, anyone listening to this was being abducted, maybe this is a way that you can help yourself. And I am going to try, and anyone that comes to me that needs any healing, this is what I'm going to teach them, because this has come to me from different information, from different sources, with my own experience of manifestation, and like I said, changing things from the past, realizing more and more about our DNA and how important it is for us, and how to activate it to basically ascend out of this reality and go to a higher dimension. All this knowledge is all molded into this theory about this abduction. So if this is any good for you, listen to this, and you may find it helpful. Hopefully you will. Okay, cheers, bye.